After my last video, I was told I was lying and spreading misinformation. That's quite the accusation. Rather than give a counter argument, I'm going one better. So in this video, I'm sharing a tool that will help you as the viewer spot nutrition misinformation online so you can decide for yourself who to trust. 2 weeks ago, I made a video about oats and it made a few men quite angry. This is what they said. More sickening misinformation. Don't be taken in by this nonsense. You are lying. Go back to study again. You lost me forever when you said cholesterol causes atherosclerosis. Don't bother with nutrition, darling. I'm not sorry that last fella is forever lost. You can go and watch that video for yourself, but in a nutshell, they don't like the fact that I say it's fine to eat whole grain, complex carbohydrates, yes, even after 50. I consider myself pretty knowledgeable. I'm coming to the end of a master's in nutrition. But there are plenty of online experts sharing the opposite view, that we shouldn't eat carbs, that they aren't essential and even dangerous. And this is a problem. When different and often conflicting messages compete for our attention, it's confusing and frustrating. Research has shown that when there is a difference of opinion between experts, the general public reduce healthy behaviours, thinking, why bother if no one can agree? Which is the exact opposite of what any online educator wants. One way to combat this is to help people to look critically at the claims they see online, so they can make up their own mind. To do just that, the World Cancer Research Fund developed the Trust Test. It's a simple tool to help people assess health and nutrition claims, spot misinformation and make more informed decisions. It was developed by the charity based on research from University College London. So let's run through it together with examples. T is for too good to be true, on the basis that when something sounds too good to be true, it usually is. So is the claim promising unrealistic results or quick fixes, for example, to cure a disease or rapid weight loss? People buy products and services based on results, but results can be misleading. If a weight loss plan promises you'll lose 20 pounds, the more important question is what proportion of people keep the weight off at 2 years or 5 years? Because losing weight rapidly only to put those same 20 pounds straight back on when life gets in the way isn't a solution. All it does is lead to internalisation of the failure, blaming yourself rather than the method. The same goes for supplements. Be very suspicious of claims for a single nutrient because we don't eat things in isolation. It's overall diet that matters, and a supplement won't fix an unhealthy diet. Taking a pill without addressing the basics is a bit like rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic. And as for proprietary supplement blends, has it been tested? Do we know how those ingredients act when taken together? Do they do the thing that's being promoted? So stay sceptical and beware the quick fix, because all too often it has the whiff of snake oil. R is for research backed, so can the claim be traced back to scientific evidence rather than opinion or personal stories? I've seen plenty of YouTube videos where people use the phrase studies show, to which the next question should be, which studies? Because if people are making a statement, for example, seed oils are inflammatory, then they really need to back this up with evidence. For any claim, they should be ready to cite their sources, so share the reference of the research which supported or refuted the claim. And context is important too. Is it a good study? Is the method sound? Did it answer the research question? Is it relevant to humans, or was the study performed in rats or cells in a petri dish? And most importantly, where does that result sit in amongst all the other results on that subject? What is the overall picture? Of course, there will always be professional differences of opinion because, hey, that's life. But not being able to back up claims with published, peer-reviewed research is a red flag. U is for understood, and this one is particularly relevant for health claims. Has the person sharing the information understood the risks, or have they downplayed any dangers? And don't assume that natural automatically means safe. For example, turmeric supplements. Do they ever talk about the expanding case series showing acute liver failure from taking turmeric supplements? Because modern supplements contain far higher doses than our ancestors ever used in the cooking pot. And particularly in cancer care, have they promoted unproven remedies over medical care? This is particularly dangerous content because it's targeting vulnerable people and can cause real harm. With nutrition, are they promoting their recommended diet as the only way to eat, a one-size-fits-all? I'll say this louder for the folks at the back, but different diets work for different people. Some people enjoy a keto diet and can sustain it in the long term. Others thrive on a whole foods, plant-based diet. I myself favour the Mediterranean diet. You do you. Look at how the content creator talks about food, the language. Is it in absolutes? This one food banishes belly fat. You must never eat these 5 foods. In reality, there is literally no food that is out of bounds provided you aren't allergic to it, or it's gone off, or it's fallen on the floor and broken the 3-second rule, or the dog has licked it. It's all about dose. Donuts every day, not really a good idea, but a one-off at the fair with your grandkid. Just enjoy the donut because life is way too short for food guilt. Eat how you want to eat, but please don't think that your, or indeed their way, is the only way, and let's banish the absolutes. And if you want more sensible food talk, why not sign up for my weekly newsletter? It's moderately entertaining, and I'll put the link in the description box below. S is for source quality. Who is sharing the information? Is it a trusted organisation? And if it's an individual, are they appropriately qualified? Now, of course, people can gain true expertise through experience, but the world of nutrition is a bit like the Wild West because anyone can call themselves a nutritionist. I'll attempt to break down the relevant details with 3 points. Point 1, credentials. Dietitian is a protected title in most countries. You cannot claim to be one if you aren't qualified in dietetics. Nutritionists, well, we ain't so lucky, but there are things you can do to check. In the UK, you can see if someone is registered with the Association for Nutrition on their website. That means they have an accredited degree and can call themselves a registered nutritionist. I'll be applying myself in due course. The nearest equivalent in the US is a CNS, a Certified Nutrition Specialist. I'll put the link to the American Nutrition Association in the description box. They have an email address for a credentials check. Just to complicate matters further, in the UK we also have nutritional therapists. They're slightly different and they have a number of regulatory bodies. But one thing I do want to make crystal clear is that when it comes to prescribing a specific diet for someone with a medical condition, that is the responsibility of the dietitians alone. It's out of the scope of practice for everybody else. And what about doctors? After all, I was one, I'm now retired. What I will say here is that I wasn't taught pretty much anything in the way of nutrition at medical school, and it is very different. So whilst a lot of doctors give good nutrition advice, not all do. So don't assume they're correct just because of the scrubs, the white coat or the title. Point 2, are they selling something? A program, a book or a supplement range? Do they have a vested interest in proving their diet works? It's not an automatic problem in itself and people have got to make a living, but are they open about it and do they acknowledge the bias? Am I selling something? Yes, I have a coaching community called Fed and Focused. Does this introduce bias into my content? Yes, it probably does because it's near impossible not to be biased in some way. But I figure that if you want to work with me, you'll buy my thing, so I'm not going to hammer it home. And if you want to get free advice from my channel or my newsletter, then that's me just doing the right thing and trying to make the world of nutrition less full of bull. And I enjoy it. Well, not the mean comments, but that is unfortunately part and parcel of putting your head on the internet. And thirdly, point 3, what do other experts say? Is this person's claim broadly in line with the consensus, or are they a lone wolf using language like doctors have been lying to you or everything you've been told about this thing is wrong. A contrarian approach is engaging. The anti-establishment narrative of standing up for the little man against big food is appealing. I myself have been told I'm part of the problem for daring to go back to university because my lecturers and indeed the whole system are wrong. Yeah, the lecturers, the ones who are way above my pay grade and actually paid to do nutrition research, whose literal job it is to be up to date, those lecturers. Let's be real, it's not all a massive conspiracy. Think who's statistically the most likely to be correct, the whole of the nutrition research community or that fella in his basement with the whiteboard? You decide. And lastly, T is for think before you share. If the information doesn't pass the trust test, don't pass it on. Because all social media content has a lifespan, so leave it to gently fade away, or if it's particularly bad, report it to the platform, or if they are mis-selling something, your country's equivalent of the Advertising Standards Agency. And if you do want to watch that video about oats, I'll leave it here and I'll see you there.